So this week we saw Challengers. Matt, what was the plot?
Okay, well, you know how me and you want to smooch Zendaya?
I thought you were going to say me and you want to smooch each other, but carry on.
Well, okay. Well, she doesn't have to be there. But anyway, that's the movie. Two bros trying to pull Zendaya, and they both do. And then one of them does, and then the other one doesn't, and then the other one does, and then the other one doesn't. And they just sort of flip-flop around, smooching Zendaya, and they all play tennis.
What an interesting film. Largely positive reviews. There's one guy I follow on Letterboxd who's seen it at least twice already. So directed by how do you say his last name? Luca.
I think it's Guadagnino, but I might not be right.
Luca Guadagnino, that sounds about right. Director of, as you said, Call Me By Your Name. Was it last year? The year before? Bones and All? Suspiria remake.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Suspiria remake. I really like the original. But from what I heard, it's because I've always felt like a remake, don't bother remaking a good film. Remake a film that was a great idea, but it didn't really work out. But Suspiria, the original, was really good. And what I hear is he did it so differently. It was such a different interpretation that it really justified its existence.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
So I would like to see it.
A great director. He's definitely one, although I can't pronounce his last name confidently. When I see his name on a poster, because I can read the written word and not necessarily speak it, I'm excited. And I think Challengers has proved that. Right, it's a very well-made film.
I've got a great segue here. Speaking of posters where you can read the written word but not say it, have you seen that poster for Challengers they released and then they immediately redacted and put out a statement about?
No, let me have a look.
Oh,
yeah, there's no way that's real. There is no
it's not real.
way.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, no, it's not a shame.
That's a shame.
I saw that. I saw this everywhere.
There is no way that's real. So there's a fake poster. It's white. Up the top are the three actors' names. Below that are the silhouetted figures of three people playing tennis. And then below them in bold text is the word Challengers, except it's split over two lines. CHALLE is on the top line, and then the rest is on the bottom line. And it looks like something very racist. So, you know what? There's no way that's real.
Okay. Well, I fell for it, and I don't normally fall for things, but I saw it around so many places that I was like, well, this has got to be real.
And it got your bum in the seat as well, so it worked, clearly, didn't it? That's good marketing, if ever I've heard it.
Have you seen that they reckon that 55% of viewers of this film went to see it just because Zendaya's in it? So,
So
what people like Quentin Tarantino is saying about how the movie star is dead, people don't watch a movie for Chris Evans, they watch it for Captain America, like, I guess it's actually kind of not true. And I actually think it's more the case with like female actors now than male actors. Like, people will go see the Zendaya film. They'll go and watch Anya Taylor-Joy's film. They'll like...
Yeah.
I don't know if she's maybe on a route, but like Jenna Ortega, people go and watch anything she does.
So Zendaya plays Tashi Donaldson, Mike Feist plays Art Donaldson, and Josh O'Connor plays Patrick Zweig. I've never seen Mike Feist or Josh O'Connor in anything. But I think they were very good. I
saw Joshua O'Connor in a terrible Doctor Who episode once, but he was a very small role.
Lucky for him. They both look like normal people.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't look like two identical Chris Evans. They looked similar, but different enough. One being the more meek, by the book character, and one being the bad boy. A bit more...
Yeah, I'd say one of them's more like sort of traditionally suave and put together, and the other one is a bit more like rugged, still knows how to fuck.
The characters in this, there's not a traditional hero villain in this.
No.
And maybe some of the moral choices are not something that as an audience you would do, but they are three really interesting, well-developed characters.
Yeah, it's not just about it's an actual like love triangle. I feel like normal love triangles are like a V shape or like an upside down V. You know, it's them both looking at this one girl. There's still very much a thing between the two men. Like, somewhat romantic undertones, but also like the friendship and relationship between the two of them is so important. I mean, we know that they've had like a sort of slightly sexual past, and they're like kissing at the start, and one of them we see on Tinder, and he's got like men on there, but it's mostly not that. But I quite liked how it was like an actual triangle this time.
Yeah, it really, the trailer sells it as being like a real raunch fest, but it's not that.
Not really, no. There's a few scenes, but
as you said, like the dynamics, it's so well written that it keeps you guessing the entire time. Like you don't know who's going to end up where. It ebbs and flows between them.
Oh, it's good. Yeah, I think it is really good how, yes, one scene will be following one character as the hero and the others the villains. And then the next scene, like, who the hero and who the villain is, like, switches from scene to scene. Like, we experience, we like and we dislike all three of them in different scenes from different points of view. It's almost like we have a point of view character in every scene. And they're the one we root for. Like, it's normally Tashi is quite positive. And then at the end, I'm like, I don't like you at all.
Yes, I came away feeling that exactly the same. She was pulling their strings the entire time.
But I also feel like I think they should have just not been involved with her, and they should have both. I think they're just all bad for each other, and they should have all found other people. But they're just obsessed with her because she's like their muse, but their tennis muse. Like, is there such a thing in sport? Probably. I mean, yeah, because
there must be
because of Kirsten Dunst is Paul Bettany's tennis muse.
A motivation, but more than a muse, I guess. Do you know this is a first feature screenplay?
Yes, I do know this. By Greta Lee's boyfriend, right?
It's by a guy called Justin. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the last name. Justin Koritsky.
Yeah.
Who anyone who grew up on the internet would probably know him as the potion seller.
He's the potion seller. Yes. No.
How amazing!
Celine Song. I'm thinking Greta Lee was the star of Past Lives. No. Yes, he is the potion seller. That's correct. But he is also Celine Song, the writer and director of Past Lives. They're dating, and so I've seen people on the internet saying,
"Oh wow."
Are both these films inspired by like the same threesome, and they both interpret it differently?
Okay, so that's like a very famous threesome then. What a great first attempt! Like, well done.
Oh, the screenplay is fantastic. Yeah, and he's also writing Luca Guadagnino's next film, which I think is out later this year, which is called Queer. It's about Daniel Craig. It's a true story. I can't remember what it's about. It's Daniel Craig as like an expat or something. I don't know, American fella.
yeah.
I read sounds good to me. Immediately.
I'll watch that one. I think. What I really liked about the presentation of how it was shot, it almost changes from scene to scene. Sometimes it's like really dynamic and really fluid. Sometimes it's just static and taking everything in.
That's true.
You've got very gimmicky shots in there. It messes around with frame rate. It messes around with light. Compared to because we've paired this with Wimbledon, which is 2002, it's like night and day. How Guadagnino like really stretches the idea and the presentation, and tennis isn't just a set-in. Tennis is the story as well as the relationship is the story. It's not just there's a love triangle and they're playing tennis. Like it's everything. Even the jumping back and forth in time, which at the start I was like, why are they doing it like this? Very non-linear fashion.
At first I was like, I think this was a bad mistake because it's just kind of spoiled stuff. Like, we know that they're married and we know who she chose. And then but I think when you go back to that, the match the furthest in the future, which we always keep going back to, you do learn more and more. Every time they cut back there, you learn more information and there's more depth.
Yes.
And then you find out why Zendaya is reacting like that, and you find out why one of them's playing so badly, and you find out what and I think, and you find out something about a tell that you didn't know the context of before.
Even that's like a tennis match, like jumping back and forth in time with information. Everyone's like, at one point one fella has got the upper hand and then the other one's got the upper hand. Even like non-verbally conveying information, like how can you tell we have the furthest point in the future is the tennis match, but you also spend time the night before the tennis match how do you tell? How does it convey that it's that night? Because we jump back and forth to that night every time, and it's because there's a big storm.
Yeah.
So whenever you see a big storm with loads of CG papers flying around,
I hope the CG artists have made an absolute mess of it.
you immediately tell. You're like, why is there so much paper in this town? Where is it coming from? Who still reads newspapers in 2024?
But things like that, like Mackey's wrappers and stuff.
Vape cartridges flying around. But it's just so well executed. I was just really impressed. I went into it thinking this is going to be so dull, and it was so good.
I thought the same. I was completely invested throughout the whole thing, and I didn't think I would be.
So tense.
Yeah. I think you're right what you're saying. Like, most of it's conventionally shot, and then you'll have like the red light is such a big thing in that scene near the end in the car park. And you have that like tennis ball point of view near the end as well, which I really liked.
So that this is onto the issues I have with it.
Yeah, I knew as soon as I saw that shot, I was like, this is sick. Joshua will hate this.
I hated that. The end, like the last sequence of them playing tennis. Did you see? You must have. You know the SNL bit. The what you say?
I know that from I know that like as a meme. I don't know it from SNL.
So it's.
I've seen it as like
Bill Hader.
Like TikToks.
Bill Hader's writing a letter to his sister. And it's like, dear sister, when you're reading this, and then Andy Samberg comes in and shoots him. And then it goes into slow motion, like he's then looking at the blood in his hands.
Yeah.
And then he collapses, and the song like fades out. And Andy Samberg's like, oh my God, what happened? And then Bill Hader shoots him, and then it goes into the slow motion and the same song, and then he falls to the ground.
Oh, I didn't know that was an SNL sketch. Because
Sam Witwicky walks in and gets shot, and then Kristen Wiig walks in and gets shot over and over and over again. And I was like, the editing here, it's too much for me. It feels like a joke. That gimmicky tennis ball shot, I was
didn't
like,
get that
strip
at all.
it back. It's tense.
I completely
Just
disagree.
Do it less.
No, I disagree. I think style's good, and I didn't take me out at all. I actually didn't think it was at all what you were saying, apart from that one tennis ball shot. And I thought that tennis ball shot was so interesting. I've never seen a shot like that before. They do a similar one in Wimbledon, but it's like third person. It's not quite as good. I loved it, and I thought it was so tense. Or I thought everything they did just smashed it.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, really tense. But like, you'd see a slow motion reaction shot of Zendaya, and then it will go into live action, and then it'll go to normal speed, and then back to a slow motion shot of her, and then a slow motion shot of him.
But tennis is so fast that you can't capture everything without doing that. I think it was the right. It's not like Zack Snyder's use of slow motion, watching like grain in slow motion for 30 fucking minutes. It's like
cutting down wheat.
Yeah, this is like a really fast-paced thing that we need to take the time with seeing. We need to tell the story. So I understand why you'd use a variety of speeds. And then when it does, it means also when it's slow, when it goes back to being fast, it's sort of jarring. It's like, whoa, this is such a quick game. It feels even faster. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah, okay, I do see where you're coming from. But yeah, that's the only issue I had. And talking about tennis, because we paired this with Wimbledon. We watched Wimbledon as well from 2002, I think. It's nice to see actual tennis just being played.
Okay.
Unlike Wimbledon, where it will be like a montage, a racket hits a ball bounces,
a wide shot, a racket
hits a ball,
a body double,
and then it'll be a point was scored, yay! But in this, it lets longer sequences of tennis play out at different points in the film. You get the impression that they're actually playing tennis and they're not just actors playing tennis, and I really appreciated that. I
do agree with that. I think because I think Wimbledon is very much like. It's such a generic film structure that's like, oh, I know that he'll miss this one and then he'll get the final one. Like it's I mean, it's strange to say about them playing tennis because it was a CGI ball and they just swung into thin air. Yeah, they weren't playing tennis at all.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean they might have done for some shots, but no, I heard Zendaya on one of the Jimmies. Talking about how she's not that great at tennis. She could just fake a form looking okay, and then they just had the ball afterwards. I know. I kind of get what you're talking about because, like you said, the Wimbledon is just actors and it's so formulaic. And I genuinely had no idea who's going to win and who. I actually didn't get the ending. Can we talk about that now? Like I'm talking the
let's go
last 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
Spoilers for challengers. I really like the ending.
I didn't understand it. Like, why they just hugged and then Zendaya cheered. But it's like, wait, but who won the game? Because the ball must have fallen on one side. I mean, I can't remember which side. So someone must have won it. But why are they hugging?
I thought Art won.
I think he probably did.
But it's because it's boys being boys. That's what they learn.
Yeah,
it wasn't about
like,
her.
They're friends all along.
Yeah, that she was there because she won the tennis because Art won. So she did that like guttural "come on again," which he mentions at the start of the film. Because there's like so many throwbacks, like so many callbacks to certain bits. Like you said, the tail with the tennis ball. Oh man.
Yeah, they have that T-shirt that she wears and he wears. And...
Yeah, but yeah, then they hug, and they're like, "Wow, it's more than that. It's not about her. It's about boys being boys. It's about the bros. It's about being masculine and kissing your bros. Not about Zendaya."
Fucked his wife. Like, he would hate him.
But then that also goes back to, it's so clever. Why does Zendaya like tennis in the first place? Like the conversation on the beach, because it's a relationship.
Yeah,
it's that point where he gives away the point, doesn't he, Art? And then they have that final sequence is that final point, and it's them having their relationship.
Yeah.
They are purely in tennis, and then they learn that it's just boys being boys. That's just the relationship.
Boys. Okay, fair enough. All right,
I thought it was very clever.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, what did you rate it?
I gave it 4 stars. It probably could have 4.5. I thought it was really good. I love the drama. I love the characters. Well, I hated the characters at times, but I was very, very invested in the whole thing. I thought it was interesting. I couldn't compare it to much else. I thought it was, unpredictable. Really liked it. Really had a good time.
Yeah, so did I. I gave it 4.5. Other than that gimmicky end, I really enjoyed it and would like to watch it again. Yeah,
I'd happily watch it again. And it was also quite hot.
It was quite steamy. A little bit of peen here and there. A little bit of nip.
There wasn't really peen. Not much.
There was in the peen in the shower room. Bit of peen.
But I didn't think peen. Oh yeah, there was that one fella in the distance. Yeah.
Classic.
And you could see Zendaya's nips through her shirt.